Okay. There we go. You're live. Is my microphone working? Aha, it's working. Good. Very good. 0 people here. Welcome, everyone. I should probably, I don't know how to put this out there. Well, what happened was my microphone, when I went into YouTube, I picked this one, but I didn't pick it as the default one. I picked it individually. So when I unplugged it and replugged it, it stopped being the default microphone and became a problem. So I'll probably go for half an hour. Let's change the healing. So this will be a different healing video. Let's go with big focus on implants, AI interference, AI entities, focus on those, as well as dragon entities. Okay, yeah, some dragon entities too. Let's erase those. And in general, let's go free energy body healing as well. That's very important. And I guess some crystalline body activation. This is just intention, but it works. I will give people a few more minutes. I don't know at what point they were having difficulties hearing me. Just 5 people here now. Good. Everyone's here. Hi. Can people just say their questions that they had that I didn't answer before? And I will just answer those now. This one will be half an hour. That one, the previous one was for entities, implants, energy body healing, whatever else I said. This one is a focus on AI interference, dragon interference, and other negative entities, as well as energy body and crystalline body. So it'll have different energy, but it'll still be very useful. Hi, welcome Paula and Maddie and Longstar. Someone asked about alcohol opening people up to entities. Oh yeah. It does. Pretty much alcohol, it changes your state. Pretty much you fill yourself with, when you're drinking alcohol, and I don't drink alcohol whatsoever, you bring in entities into you and you feel, it's pretty much poison. You feel terrible, but they give you this false high. So you do it. A lot of false high going on when you drink alcohol, depending on what you drink. So yes, alcohol invites in quite a lot of entities. And just like with channeling, you drink alcohol, right? You feel great, and the next day you feel terrible. But after you feel terrible, those entities aren't gone. They're just deeper now. They're nowhere near as on the surface, causing problems. Follow-up question. After exiting this video game, after death, do we have to go on to the next one? No, I don't think so. This is not like, it's not like we exit this video game and there's just another level. Most likely not. Most likely you will exit the video game and then you will be free. You'll be in, if you've played Minecraft, you'll now be in creative mode. So you won't have to enter anything else. You'll be free to do what you should be free to do whatever you want. What about a beer or a small joint? Beer. Yeah, no, there's entities in that. They're in the alcohol. And a joint, just weed in general is not a good idea. By the way, can people thumbs this one up? I think the last one was like 8 thumbs up. Probably should have mentioned that before. Go back and thumbs this one up too. No, it's just nice to see that. That's all. Weed in general is not good for you. It's pretty much like black tar with green leaves in it. It's weed energy. It's not good for you. Just like with alcohol, it gives you this high and then you get covered in these weed entities. So I've seen people who have done weed for years and haven't done any energetic cleaning, and their body is just covered in, the best way to describe it is if you've seen Scooby-Doo, the tar monster is pretty much what it looks like. So you just have a lot of tar monster entities inside of you from weed. That being said, if you did do weed for years, you can fix it up. Don't suddenly stress that you can't. But in general, weed and alcohol, not a good idea. It's the same with a lot of other drugs. Don't do cocaine, don't do LSD, I think don't do ayahuasca, don't do these drugs. It's really not good. Like if you want to get a buzz, do Wim Hof, do the breathing technique. You'll get a positive energetic buzz. You'll feel better, and you're not going to tank afterwards because it's your energy. It's fake. If you can also do the God bubble and just be like, put up a million and be like, yeah, I want to feel high as shit. And you might be able to. Yeah, you should be able to. I once had a guest over at my home. I found out that guest can see entities. There was a ghost man wearing a tuxedo following me around everywhere. Yeah, I had one of those as a child. It could be a ghost man wearing a tuxedo. It could. Or it could be an entity, could be reptilian, could be whatever it wants. Cloaking. So you're more likely to try and get rid of a man in a tuxedo than you are a reptilian. I also, with technical difficulties, before this, last time I had my camera on a tripod behind my monitor over there, which is why it was pretty good quality. And but it was a bit high. So this time I brought my camera, I brought a stack of books to about here, and I had my camera right here, and it was working just fine, but there was one water spot like right here. So I went, okay, I'll clean it up. So I cleaned up my lens, and it didn't change. So then I went, oh, it's inside. So I opened up, cleaned the inside, and that water spot was gone, but now there were two over here. So I did it again, 4, 8, a big spot over here, and I'm fixing it. And then at like 2 minutes past 10, I went, okay, good, it's fixed. And it looked great. Plugged it in, turned it on. It was working absolutely fine. The 20 previous attempts I'd done while fixing it up. And then just would not connect. And I went, oh, okay. So right now we're on my webcam, which is pretty good. It's nowhere near as good as my good camera. But it's a lot better than nothing. And these videos, these live streams are in 480p for some reason. I don't get to pick. YouTube picks. Most likely, if my channel was bigger, I'd get an option. Maybe not. I have no idea how YouTube streaming even works. I haven't watched other people's streams on YouTube. Yeah, get high off life. That's good. Are you still sending healing energy? Yes, I am. And the intention for this one has changed. I think I'll talk about. Did I talk about Starseeds and not the last, 2 weeks ago? If I did, I won't. But otherwise, I'll talk about Starseeds and the information that I have on that. In regards to, lost my train of thought. You keep seeing 117. Also, I don't know much about angel numbers. How did you get so good at this? I trained non-stop all the time. Pretty much, I have an interview with Tony on Tony Sire's channel. That's very good where I talk about that. Pretty much entities targeted me for a very young age, and they were either going to kill me or I was going to kill them. It was me or them. So I just trained non-stop, and I still train non-stop. There's no power ceiling, there's no ceiling for you to hit. There is, if you go into Reiki or Kundalini, there's a ceiling. If you train your own energy, there's no ceiling. You can go and go and go and go and go until you're fighting very ancient, things that are thousands and thousands of years old. So the short answer is I just trained a lot. After you've completed the fundamentals of energy, what you could do is you could just remote view inside of your body, keep doing the God bubble and just erasing things, using the God bubble with the intention to strengthen yourself, and just training. That's pretty much it. There are shortcuts, but not many. Tell us about Starseeds, please. How long did I train and what did I do? Well, when I first started training, I did class 1, the fundamentals of energy. Well, it was called fundamentals of magic with a K, but I did the waterfall technique. I did that every single day before bed. I did I also did grounding. Pretty much I have a guided meditation up. That is the routine I did for more than a year to get myself strong. So that is how I trained for about a year. I then trained remote viewing inside of myself, doing the God bubble especially, helped me get stronger a lot. That is how I trained. So tell us about Starseeds. Okay, so Starseeds, pretty much what happens is you start energetically training. Some people don't, but you start energetically training, and then you go on YouTube and you find that these people are aliens. They say they're aliens. So instead of believing that they are a very powerful soul from outside, they believe that they are a very powerful soul. They believe they're a very powerful alien who has incarnated into Earth. Rather than thinking that they're a soul who's from outside and is just looping and getting fed off, and they have the potential to get stronger. So I'll talk about souls just as a slight detour because I think this will be helpful. So souls, the type and color is determined by the age of the soul. So the younger souls are brown, yellow, orange, red, maroon, silver. Then probably a few I haven't seen. Then at the top, it goes green, blue, purple. Now, your soul color is pretty much your difficulty setting because the older your soul is, the stronger the color is, the more targeted you are. So if you have a blue soul, you will be targeted for 2 reasons. Number one, if you energetically train, and most of the clients I've had blue, you have the potential to become quite strong. This isn't a new age thing where if you just stand in your power, it'll flee. They won't. They'll kick the shit out of you. You have to train. So they are targeting you because they don't want you erasing them. You're terrifying to them. And number 2, you have an absurd amount of energy in your soul, a massive amount of energy that is completely renewable for them, and for you, it's completely renewable. And they use it as an unlimited feeding source and energy source, which is why they target us pretty much for our soul energy. NPC people without souls, a lot of those, they pretty much don't get targeted at all because there's no soul energy. There's no point. Entities will jump into them and hijack them to, mess with you a little bit, but and that's also very rare. So in general, that's why you're most likely being targeted. If you're here, don't worry, you have a soul. Soulless people would not be attracted to this kind of stuff. It would not compute at all. Now with starseeds, people will, instead of believing that they're a strong soul and believing in themselves, entities will put implants in them, and the entities will say things that like, I want to go home, and they'll put like a big cord between them and some alien program pretty much, and they will believe that they are connected with the aliens in a positive manner, and then they go on YouTube and they have 1 million people say the same thing and justify it, and they go, oh, okay, so I'm an Arcturian starseed, rather than thinking the Arcturians are parasites who are feeding off of us and they are manipulating you so you don't train. And if you believe you're a starseed, you'll often be more likely to channel and connect to these entities. Therefore, it's beneficial for them because you're just freely given energy and let them in, and eventually you'll become so corrupted that you'll look like them, and you'll be very ill and your thoughts won't be your own. So that is what's happening with starseeds. If we are an old soul, why do we still have to train and it's very difficult to wake up in this life? That's a very good question. If you've seen, there's a series called Avatar: The Last Airbender. The idea is pretty much that this guy reincarnates like the Dalai Lama, pretty much, and he has the potential to be the strongest guy in the world every time, but he still has to put in the work. The reason why we have to train is pretty much we have so many implants and entities and blockages on us. We're pretty much like Hannibal Lecter. We're completely like we're that bad. So we have to train in order to get off all these blockages and to strengthen our own power. It's kind of just how the game is. We're put in here at level 1. It doesn't matter if you played the game previously and you were level 3 trillion. You're now level 1 and you have to build a foundation. You will train quicker. Your soul type, you often have faster growth, but you still have to train. I mean, if we didn't have to train, this matrix would have been fixed and closed down a long time ago, because one guy would have come in and gone, I don't like this. It would be a very, very different game we'd be playing. Do you believe celibacy is important for spiritual health? In general, celibacy is quite important. So I'll talk about masturbation. No, hang on. That'll get this video. This video probably just got age restricted. Okay, pretty much. I recommend you avoid pornography because, I can't take that back. I recommend you avoid pornography because the energy from it is this like brown viscous shit. Depending on what you're watching, most of it's just brown viscous shit that you get covered in, and it corrupts you. It's not good, and you get these like demonic pornography entities. They're not good. So I recommend you avoid pornography. In general, I'm just thinking how to not get this video just completely like, no, you can't say those words on YouTube. What are you doing? If you are, I'll just say jerking off pretty much. you will, it's not good for you. Okay, it's definitely not good for you because these entities are feeding off of you while you're doing it. Now, in terms of sex with other partners, yeah, this is a video game with pretty much no save point. If you die and you aren't strong enough to get out, you come back. It's not well designed. No save points, no checkpoints. With sex, if somebody feels off, don't have sex with them whatsoever. Casual sex, horrible idea. But if you have a partner and you're both energetically around the same level, so let's say you're both, let's just say like there's two like super satanic people, they can have sex with each other, it's really not going to affect them. If you have sex with a super satanic person, oh man, you're going to be in deep trouble. Don't do that. But if you're energetically training and you have decent amount of entities and the other person's similar, you're fine. But in general, casual sex is not a good idea. Because not just of all the different things, but you also get in your mind that you're somebody who's not worth having a relationship and that you're a casual sex partner. So it's just, not a good idea. And yeah, you will get entities off the person. So pick your partners carefully is what I'd say. If you're feeling attraction, ask why. Is this me? Is this person actually, look at them objectively. Is this person actually positive? Is this a good person to keep around in my life? If not, don't have a relationship with them. But you can, sleep with people. I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, I highly recommend you stay away from pornography, especially with pornography. As you do it, you will build up this tolerance to it, as I'm sure you're aware. And stuff that was normal before that you felt like you got the dopamine hit, you have to like get into weirder stuff to get the dopamine hit. And you'll get more and more odd sexual perversions just to try and feel something. And at that point, you have the choice of you can either quit and not feel dopamine. Now you quit, you try and get into serotonin, and it's much better. Or you just go down the rabbit hole and your energy gets awful. So yeah, just steer clear of pornography. It's really not good. Is tantric sex dangerous? I don't know what tantric sex is. So do you want to explain it? You've been celibate for over 5 years. Is it possible? Oh, no, it is possible. Yes, yeah, being celibate, it's possible. Pretty much your urges, sexual urges, once you've stopped watching porn for, when you first quit, it'll be hard because you've got this addiction in you, all these entities want to feed off it. But the longer you go, the easier it'll be to not, and then you won't even think about it whatsoever. I was going to say, in terms of this energy, when I started the free healing video, I said it would help erase dragon entities. Dragon entities are very common. Pretty much, there are different types. There's a medieval dragon. I don't really need to explain what they look like. And then there's a Chinese dragon, serpent-like thing. Dragon entities are very common. I know people talk about how they, have like dragons, spirit guides, and all that. They're pretty negative. I've never seen a positive dragon. They could be out there, but I haven't seen one. So in general, pretty much any entity, especially when you start remote viewing, you will remote view a dragon and it'll seem wise and clever, or like a liar and it'll seem positive and a lion. But then something will often feel off. But then as you get stronger remote viewing, you can see through this like cloaking they have, and then you go, oh, that is not. Yeah, that lion is not helping me. He's giving you like some positive energy, but he's also eating you. So when you first start remote viewing, if you're seeing, and I recommend you do remote viewing, see the things that I'm talking about, verify it for yourself. With remote viewing, you are pretty safe from stuff, but you will see often the facade when you first start. I did, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess these things are good, and then you find it later on as you get stronger. Oh, they're just traps. You're very disappointed. So, are starseeds people or aliens? Oh, starseeds are people. Nobody is aliens, right? Nobody here that I know of, and I've seen some pretty far along starseed people, and they just turned out to be people. Are people? We are souls. We have a soul from outside the matrix that is inside of here. We are not aliens. None of us. We are not aliens who were outside and then we incarnated in. That is simply not true. It's a very good trap, very clever, well-designed trap, but it's a trap. You are not an alien. You are way, way stronger than they are. You have the potential to be way, way stronger. You're not at the moment, but you have the potential to be significantly stronger than the the aliens. Turn up the healing energy some more. I said in the first video, but I said it kind of at the end. If the healing energy is too strong, you can picture a lever to just turn it down, just down, down, down. Or you can just go up, up, up. You can ride a lever times 100 down, times 100 up, times 1,000,000 up. It's just intention. So that's how you do it. Is karma real? Karma is real to an extent. Karma is a belief system. I should probably write down the questions I'm answering so I can put them in the description. Karma is a belief system. So karma, what it does is you opt into it and you believe in it. So oftentimes, like these super negative people, if karma was real, they'd have been struck by lightning. So it's very much not real. But if you believe in it, and you believe that when you do a negative thing, negative things will happen to you. Negative things will happen to you because you're opting into a belief system. So as a belief system, it's real. But as like a universal law, no, there is no real universal law. So it's not there. Do you have any more questions? I meant for the last one to go for an hour, and then I think at like 50 minutes it broke out. So I'll make this one probably half an hour, unless there's no questions. Sit here for half an hour in silence and feel the energy. You can do that. I'm thinking if there's any other topics I should cover. Covered the main ones I wanted to, which was Kundalini, Reiki, and channeling. Okay, you have a question. Good. Just say the question. You don't have to. Why am I so good looking? Well, it's cold showers and a lot of energy work. It's just so much energy work. It's that's how you do it. Also, my hair. Last time I rinsed my hair, and I was also on a much higher quality camera, but I rinsed my hair, so it looked very flat. Now I've actually shampooed and conditioned my hair. I just rinsed it because I'd shampooed and conditioned it the day before, and I didn't want to do it again because you're not supposed to overdo that. So that's why it looks better now. This is how my hair normally looks. It'd look better if I had my good camera stacked up on books like it was supposed to be, but that didn't happen. I'm also wearing a white shirt this time. Like I was like, I'll wear smart casual, but this is how I normally dress, just white V-necks. I like them. I can breathe in them. Does washing in salt water can clothes and jewelry carry a charge? Yes, very much so. Does washing in salt water clear it? Clear what exactly? Washing in salt water, I don't have any experience with. I've been to the beach a lot, and that is very helpful. Bad energy. Yes, it can help with bad energy. As particularly the beach. The beach is very helpful for bad energy. Because I've had times when I've been in the beach, just doing energy work, and I'm a lot more grounded when I'm in the ocean, just swimming around. So yes, it can be quite helpful. Can I explain my waterfall technique? That's the first video one. Come on. What exactly do you want me to explain about it? Actually, I'll explain some things about it. With the waterfall technique, as you do it, the body of water that you use will get bigger. So when I first started, I had a lake in my head, and then as I did it, it got bigger and bigger into an ocean. And now, if I do it, it's like, well, I don't even have to picture the water. I just move my own energy around. But it got to the point where it was like a massive ocean that was in my head. So the quality and the volume of water increased significantly. As you do it, your water, just the volume and the quality will go up a lot. If the water begins to not look like water, if it begins to look like white energy or gold energy or anything like that, just go with it. Don't stress about that. Don't connect to anything external to you while doing the waterfall technique. So you're using your own energy, and that's just how you're seeing your own energy at the moment. But feel free to make your water channels, your lakes and oceans bigger in time when you feel it is ready. You can also picture, while doing the waterfall technique, you can picture nature's energy. You can draw nature's energy up while doing the waterfall technique. And you can picture, I used to picture these just like light green minty leaves would just absorb into my body, and with the intention to heal, and I would use that to heal myself. I think if there's any other questions I should do, I answered quite a few of the training questions, I think, in the guided meditation for training. So there's that. Clearing and charging objects, you can pretty much clear and charge most things. Like I said there, you can charge your bed. Crystals are very good because their energy is normally inherently positive. Don't buy crystals in the form of like a crystal skull, a crystal dragon. Don't do that. But in general, crystals are a really good thing to practice charging your own energy in. Same with silver, any of the metals, that's really good for charging it. Once it's full and you're feeling resistance, you can picture a qualitative change happening. Then you can put in more energy. Do you ever energetically structure the water you drink? Yes, yeah. I was on holiday for 6 days, I think 2 weeks ago, and I didn't have a water filter for the first day, so I would pour water and then I would erase all the entities in the water, and then I'd energetically charge my water. And yes, if it's filtered, I don't normally bother, because that's kind of annoying to do that every single time. I drink a lot of water. But yes, I do. Can we save our pets from cycling back? Yes. So what you would do then is oftentimes your pets, because you're sold, you will normally get a sold pet. Normally the color will match yours. So but if you have a blue soul, you will, and yours looks blue. If you have a blue soul, you will normally get animals that have blue souls. So if you want to leave, but you don't just want to leave your dog here, don't kill your dog to come with you. Don't do that. What would most likely happen is you would say this to your dog and his soul would comprehend it, most likely. And when your dog dies, hopefully before you, because oftentimes dogs will reincarnate into the same family. But when your dog dies, say that to him or her, and then you will die, and he should be hopefully waiting for you. This is a theory. If not, and you can just like die and then just start erasing stuff and being like, where's my dog? Show me a portal to my dog. And then you can go in. When you see your dog, attack it. Make sure that's your actual dog, and you're not just bringing a lizard man out with you. Attack the dog. If it's your dog, grab it, open a portal, out you go. That's how you could get your dog out. Are the entities in the water from fluoride and chemicals? Well, saying all kinds of bad words. Well, in general, to an extent, yes. Pretty much energetic stuff. So, like, let's say a fungus will be in the third dimension, and in the fourth or fifth dimension, it'll be an entity. And if you erase the entity, you often erase like microscopic funguses in your body. So yes, they are. I'm just doing this because I'm just turning the power up. It's actually just a habit I have now. I'll do something better. I'll just be like lever and then just maximum power. Yeah, because I wanted to feel my own healing energy more. The healing energy is still working. I can see it going off. There's quite a few people. It looks like once you leave the live stream, it kind of goes if you still want it. With these videos, what you can do is you don't have to even see them. You can mute them and have them in another, like just minimize. So long as the video is actually playing, you don't need the audio or to see it. But if it's actually playing, the energy comes off. Because I've used my own healing video probably 9-10 hours now, and found it quite useful. I don't think I mentioned any symptoms because I just went straight into Reiki and Kundalini, but I'll go into symptoms in detail now. So what you'll often feel is some warmth and tingling. That's the energy. If you have like a really bad entity attachment, like let's say your right arm just hurts and you're like, I click this and it hurts. Is this demonic? No, it's not demonic. The entity inside of you is getting hit hard and he's mad and you're feeling pretty much his pain. And then the pain will lessen, and then it'll go. So if you're feeling pain, that's why. Don't worry. I've had a few corrupted people be like, is this demonic? The answer is no, it's not. But you're so full of demonic stuff that they are like, it's demonic. It's kind of like, the mythological idea that if there's a vampire and you hold up the cross, he's like, and he backs up. That's pretty much how this energy works. Is it worth to try astral projection? Any benefit for the afterlife? I tried astral projection in 2019 and I got blocked. Pretty much I had entity is in my arm, in my right arm, so I'd be like about to exit, then it would just fly up and I'd be like, oh, come on. So I stopped. I could probably do it now, but you're much better off spending the time you would spend doing astral projection because it's very tedious. Training yourself, just practicing remote viewing pretty much, because with remote viewing, things can block you and you can break through them. But in general, you are pretty safe with remote viewing, and it doesn't really have a failure rate. It's pretty easy. Once you get good at it, it's really easy. Like, I don't have a failure rate whatsoever. As even remote viewing, not remote viewing, astral projection people have been doing it for decades, have a pretty decent failure rate. So I find, take the time you would have done astral projecting. If you want to see everything, remote view, it's much better, much safer, and much easier, just way easier. Just take that time, energetically training, erasing your entities, and remote viewing. Is the astral the fourth or fifth dimension? From what I've heard, I think from what I've been told by New Age people, the astral dimension is the fourth dimension, and it's supposed to have ghosts. That's not what I see on the fourth dimension. I don't see ghosts. I see like weird paintings, and weird cartoon monsters. I don't, and I see them not just on me, but in everybody pretty much. I don't see ghosts. Ghosts are real. They are. But they're not common. Most of the time you're seeing ghosts, it's normally just an entity. So let's say your grandma dies and you're grieving because your grandma's dead. And your grandma shows up and she looks really pissed off and she's like, half her face is rotted. Yeah, that's not your grandma. Unless your grandma really was a real piece of work, it's not your grandma. That's just an entity who goes, I can feed off this guy if I invest my energy into looking like his grandma and show up at, like 2 a.m. and shake his bed or just like stand there, and I'll feed off his trauma and his fear energy. But ghosts in general, they are alive. They're not alive, they're dead, but they're not something you really run into. They're pretty uncommon. Is astral projection or lucid dreaming safe? Astral projection is pretty safe because you just make a copy of your consciousness and it leaves. Your consciousness is still in your body. You just copied it. So it's pretty safe. Is lucid dreaming safe? Yes, it's fairly safe. I haven't done much in lucid dreaming. I just have really weird complex dreams. I don't really have much lucid dreaming. I think I've lucid dreamed like once, like consciously. Like, I haven't done lucid dreaming practice, so I'm not a lucid dreaming guy to ask, but it is fairly safe. You're not really in any danger if you start lucid dreaming. I'm just looking at what the energy is doing. I just see a whole lot of people with, it's particularly like black dragon entities on their head that are just being erased. So that's good. The energy is definitely working. If you're not feeling it, as I said, you're desensitized to it. If you want to feel it more, you can just make the intention to feel it more. Just lever with the intention to increase it times 1,000,000 up, and then hold it up, and it'll keep working. I'm not repeating that, but I find that to be very important information. In terms of other energy systems, so the reason why a lot of Reiki gurus and there's probably Kundalini gurus think they're like almighty is because they have pretty much followed the path all the way along, and their entities are talking through them, and they've got a massive, they're pretty much assholes. But they've pretty much hit the end of the road. They've hit the ceiling. So now they believe that they have all the answers to the universe because the entities are telling them that and showing them all this stuff. In reality, they're corrupted and they're just getting wrong answers. But that's why they often believe themselves to be almighty, and they think they're bloody amazing because they made it to the end of Kundalini, and that they're special. That's how that works. The whole internet is down, even Facebook. Oh, for you, jeez. Maybe you were the problem, Trace. Maybe that's why the whole thing broke before. Do you have sensitivities to EMF? Yes, I do. I'm shielded up, so I have less sensitivity than I was naturally very sensitive to them, especially as a teenager. They made me ill, but now I'm pretty strong, so they don't affect me. If I were to stand next to a 5G tower, yeah, I'd feel it and I'd be like, okay, this sucks. But in general, I'm not very stressed about EMFs because I've got a strong shield up with and it can block EMFs quite a bit. So I'm not really worried about that. Is watching TV or streaming anything opening up for brainwashing or possession? Yes, over a long period of time. So oftentimes, if you're watching a series, and this is not common, so you can still watch movies and television, don't worry. But if you sometimes shows will just feel off. Oftentimes they encode negative energy into specific series or movies. That's quite common. Oftentimes, I read quite a bit of manga, and there'll be some manga where the author is very, very corrupted with entities, and I can feel their energy in what I'm reading, and it feels bad. So I, tend to steer clear from that. And then if the author improves, it can get better. It can also depend on their work. If they're, for example, let's just say Berserk by Kentaro Miura. I can read that, and he himself doesn't seem too bad. Like the energy, I don't just get like just massive wall of negative energy. But I can read stuff that's not dark, or like something that's happy, like a comedy, and it feels really negative because the author is really corrupted with entities and just an awful person. So it's less about what they've written and made, and more so about the person's energy. So just to reiterate, this will go on the same playlist. I'm going to put it in there after I'm done. The same playlist as the other healing video, favorite manga. I really liked Attack on Titan, but the ending is getting pretty dumb, like very plot heavy. A Dungeon Meshi, that's a really good one that I read pretty recently. It's pretty funny. Dungeon Meshi is good. You can read these for free on MANGA decks. Just type in MANGA decks, and they'll come up. Red Storm was pretty good. It ended. Although I wouldn't really recommend it. The ending wasn't good. Well, because it was okay. It was a very mediocre ending. Very much an unfinished ending. I can do manga recommendations next time. Now, with these healing videos, I'm going to make a commitment, unless something comes up, that I will do these at the start of the first weekend of every month. That way, it'll be habitual. If I do any more, it'll just be a bonus one. But I will get in the habit of doing it the first weekend of every month, either Saturday or Sunday. The time may change if I move time zone, which I'm planning to do. And so hopefully, a few months from now, I probably should do them twice a month, just to get a playlist of them up there, so it can be very helpful. That's what I'm planning to do with these healing videos, and I'll upload them. I'm going to download them off YouTube and upload them on a few other websites, just in case something happens. When you remote view someone, can you see what they're doing at that specific moment and what they're wearing? You can. I don't normally try to view the physical world. I normally view the energy. So if I remote view somebody, I don't get to say, you're wearing a pink top. I normally just say, you've got an energy crack here, you've got a dragon on your head, you've got this, you've got that. I don't see them physically. I haven't practiced physically. You can get very good at seeing physically, but it's not something I mainly just practice seeing all the energetic stuff. So I don't really, I can remote view physically pretty well around my local area, but remote viewing physical areas after that, there's a lot of blockages. But remote viewing energy in far away locations is often quite easy. It's very easy for me because I've practiced a lot. If you first start, so let's say like I want to remote view my cousin, and you just see black, but you feel something, pretty much just push. You push energetically, push, and then you'll normally break through, and then you'll see it. You may often see people, and if you haven't trouble with them, try different people. There may be a black wall of like depression around them. Go through that, then you'll actually see the person. What about EMFs, waves, and electricity? Do they truly have negative effects on us? Yes, but it's fairly minute. It does negatively affect us. Like I sleep with the power switched off on the wall next to me, because EMFs do come off it. but it's not really something I'd stress about. And as you get energetically stronger, it will affect you less, but you may be feeling it more, even though it is affecting you less. Does NOFAP affect your energy? Well, yes, because entities are no longer feeding off of you. So yes, it does. NoFap is fairly positive, but you don't have to completely quit all masturbation or pornography to be spiritual. You don't have to. Okay, you can gradually quit. You can not quit at all. You're not going to lose your powers. Okay, you can. Don't stress about it, like, oh no, if I relapse, you lose all your energy. You're not going to. Okay, you'll be fine. So I wouldn't worry too much. Do you do personal clearings? Yes, I have a website where I do. I figured most people just came from Tony Sire, so they were where I had a website. Yes, it's purpleenergy.info. I do one-on-one sessions a lot. Normally I recommend people do soul retrieval first, as it gives them the biggest boost, and then contract erasure and cord cutting. And then depending on how targeted they are, I can see them regularly or I cannot. It just depends. But even if you just came in for soul retrieval, I don't normally plug my stuff, but that normally gives you a massive boost, energetic wise. So I'll go for a few more minutes. Hopefully, let me know how you're feeling the energy right now, by the way, if you're feeling, because it's been going for, I don't know, nearly an hour and a half, probably more. Let me know if you're feeling the energy, and if I haven't answered any questions that were from the last session. I'll actually just bring up the last session now, because there should be a VOD of it on my channel. And I will check. And of course, the chat's not there. Okay. Can you read my thoughts? No, I don't do any kind of thought reading. Pretty much whenever you try and do telepathy, you normally just get entities answering for the person. So no, I also haven't practiced mind reading. I don't want to be in anyone else's head. I've made my head really quiet. I don't want anyone else's noise in my head. So no, I'm not going to read your thoughts. You're feeling right. You can play this healing video along with. So it's probably good that it split up. You can play the first video, the second one, and now this will be the third one in different windows. So you can play them all at the same time on mute. Otherwise, it'd be weird. You can play them on mute, and the energy will stack from them. So I'd recommend that, because when I use Kelly's healing videos, I have like 4 tabs up, and I had a playlist of seven videos in there that it would go through. So you can do that, and it's very helpful. If I'm seeing angel numbers all the time, does this mean I have entities touched me? Yes, pretty much. That is what it means, without sugarcoating it. It pretty much means that the entities are inside of you, and they're trying to manipulate you to go a certain direction and a certain path. Yeah, if you're like already in a pretty positive state, you'll feel a positive shift. But if you're in a negative state, you tend to feel it a bit more. Or if you're like really corrupted, you may put these videos on and not feel anything, because it's just hitting the walls of like negative energy on you, and it's not actually getting to you, as if you're like me, and there's not much negative stuff on you. It's mostly just within. You just gradually go through it. It's really not you feel pretty much everything. There's nothing obstructing you. Yeah, my symptoms right now, I'm feeling like a lot of tingling in my left foot in particular, and it's almost like it's gone numb. Like, okay, I can barely move it, which is good, because it means it's healing. So it's pretty much like the limb itself is, when you like sleep on a limb badly and it goes dead, they want me to go to the twin flame direction. They could, if you have a twin flame stuff, then yes, they could be trying to push you in that direction. They're probably just more so trying to push you toward the, okay, it's not just my left leg, good. They're probably more so just trying to push you toward the new agey direction. Oh, one more thing I've got to address, because somebody emailed this to me. I have on a playlist called Verified Positive Healing Music. Some music made by me, but I've remote viewed into it. Now, I don't like Buddha entities and things like that, but the first one is really good to just play. I found it helpful, and I've remote viewed in it. It's very safe. A few of those, there's not that many that are actually that positive. Most of the free healing stuff, like, you know, the different Hertz, you probably don't know. Pretty much there is something called Solfeggio Frequencies, and you can play them, and they're said to do different things. So I think it's like 3, don't get this wrong, 362 maybe is grounding. 963 is said to be the frequency of the gods. All this stuff's kind of clickbaity, but it's like activate your pineal gland, Kundalini energy, blah blah blah. The one in my playlist does not have Kundalini energy. I would not put anything in my playlist that has any Kundalini or Reiki energy. So you can play those. Some of the titles are very clickbaity, but it's the energy in themselves that are good. The pictures don't really matter. Like, you're seeing sacred geometry, which I don't like. I don't find it to be very good. But you don't have to worry about the picture. It's more so the music and the frequency from the creator who made it. So yeah, don't worry about the names of those ones. You know, if I label my video Kundalini energy, it's Kundalini energy, but I'm never going to do that. If you see a Kundalini energy video from me, run the other way. You know, that's not good. I would never make that. Twin Flames BS. Twin Flames, pretty sure. I don't remember. I think I've answered this. I've answered it for a lot of people anyway. Twin Flames are not BS. Twin Flames are a pretty much disgusting kind of entity attachment. So they will take the soul of someone else and put it on you. I answered this. Watch my first Q&A because I answered this in more detail, and you will pretty much be linked to the person soul-wise. It's pretty bad. That's a twin flame attachment, but it can also be pretty fixed. Be pretty easily, at least for me. But it can be pretty easy to fix for me. You could probably fix it if you remote view your soul. Then you break through any kind of overlay, and then you would see a part of someone else's soul. It'd normally just be black, and then erase through all the blackness, send it back to them. To be a twin connection, there's a big change in a few people where it's like a pendulum type cone inserted into one person's soul, and then a chain pendulum soul into pendulum cone into the other person's soul. So that's I just call that like twin trauma connection. It's not even a twin flame thing, but it's very, very much connected. And that would probably fall under the term of twin flame. It's very negative too. But you most likely don't have those, hopefully, because if you're feeling everybody else, like another person's stuff way too much, you may have one of those, or it could be twin flame soul manipulation. In general, twin flame stuff is very negative. Is there evil frequency Hertz? I'd say yes. I haven't done research much into the Hertz, but there is definitely evil frequency. I mean, a lot of the frequency videos on there will be like, you know, it'll say it's a positive Hertz and for grounding, and then you'll press it and it'll just be like, shh, it'll sound like that. Or it might even sound positive, but there's a lot of negative energy in there. If you're listening to any of these music and it has mantras, yeah, normally no, don't listen to that. You can often tell if something's positive because after you stop listening to it, if you try and play it in your head, it'll be difficult. As if you stop listening to it and you try and play it in your head and you just hear the mantras, yeah, that's not so good. So, can the twin flame stuff begin with the person in a previous lifetime? Yes, it can. It's very unlikely. If they do a soul chain deliberately, then yes. But that's very rare and very unlikely. But it can. But you shouldn't really have to worry about that. Do we have any other questions? And I guess I'll finish up. No questions. Okay. Yeah, for me, I'm feeling like energy pulsing in my brain, which is good. It's good pulsing, and I'm feeling just my head feels lighter, especially around the ears. Just feels very, very much lighter. For the next one, I'll try to not have technical difficulties and start late, but that was just the world being against me at that point. Yeah. Now, you don't need, like, these work very well when they're not live. They work pretty much just as well. So if you missed it, don't worry. You can play it, no problem. Oh, there was one other thing I had to mention. In the last video, I mentioned that shadow work, where you integrate parts of your shadow, was negative. Now, what I meant by that, and this will be a video on its own, and I'll cover this. I covered in the last one, but shadow work in itself, the term shadow work is not negative, but the idea of seeing like vampiric entities and saying, "Oh, that's my shadow," and bringing and allowing them to integrate into you, that's bad. But doing inner child work, doing other things like, I guess, erasing entities can be considered shadow work. I don't call it shadow work. I just consider it energetic clearing, energetic erasing. So I think inner child work and stuff like that is very helpful. But I do not think bringing different entities through mirror gazing and techniques like that is good. That was one last thing I had to specify on. Also, if you're watching this and you made it to the end, after the time, feel free to write a comment, because I'm curious how other people respond to the energy and how they feel from it. So if you made it this far, go ahead and just write down your symptoms and sensations that you felt from the energy, and that would be great. So feel free to have a stretch, loosen up. You should hopefully feel lighter. You'll feel tingling throughout your body. You'll often feel like your blood just is flowing really, really well. I'm feeling that at the moment. Drink plenty of water, especially because, my energy is fairly strong, so you will often feel, pretty dehydrated. So drinking water can be very, very helpful. And with that, I will see you at April on the first weekend there, unless something comes up and I'm moving. And if I decide to do another one, I'll schedule it a few days ahead of time. It doesn't seem to want to show up when I schedule it. It's just YouTube doesn't like me. I schedule it, it's not even on my channel. And then when it goes live, it shows up and people message me and they say, "I didn't know you were doing a live stream." But yeah, see you in 4 weeks for another one, unless I feel like I should do one before then. So goodbye. Got to end the stream. This is supposed to be dramatic. Okay, bye-bye.